Okay, we're going to take this same concept of working off the major scale positions to discover, kind of figure out, and the number system, as I mentioned before, to figure out arpeggios. Arpeggios are a huge part of jazz improvisation, very important part. So I want to really make sure I get into pretty great detail with you on this subject. What are arpeggios? That's the first thing to know. If we're talking about theory, we have to know what the word means. Arpeggio is very simple. Most of you probably know this already. It's where you have a chord, but instead of playing it as a chord, you play it as individual notes. Right? So that was an A major chord, and then I play each note in the A major chord as a single note. That's an arpeggio. So you're just taking the chord and stretching it across the guitar. It's easy to visualize on the piano. If you can think of the piano and you have the middle C here, and the C major scale is all the white keys from C to C in the middle of the piano. Well, if you skip every note, every other note, you go C, skip D and go to E, skip F and go to G, skip A and go to B, you get the C major 7 arpeggio. So it's very easy to visualize on the piano. On the guitar, not as easy to visualize, but I'm going to help you visualize it. Now, I was spelling out a 7th chord, but just to make sure we have every bass covered, we're going to start, in this case, with triads. Just 3-note chords. We know them on guitar as C, E, A, D, G, those chords, or as bar chords. In this case, we're just going to go through the basic triadic, we call them triadic, arpeggios of the basic chords. The first one is major, right? And we're going to do them in every position. So again, I'm going to harken back to my major scale positions. That one, of course, is I'm doing it in A again. That, of course, is starting with the A on the first finger on the 6th string, right? And the major arpeggio, just from like this kind of a chord, right? The notes in that chord are, remember, we're skipping every other note. We're not going to include the 7th. We're only going to go up to the 5th. So if I skip every note, I skip the 2nd, go right to the 3rd, skip the 4th, and go right to the 5th, I have my triad. And then I repeat that in the 2nd octave. Skip the 2nd, 3rd, skip the 4th, 5th, and then I'll hit the last root on top to finalize it. Okay, so that's with the first finger. The second finger, same thing. That's our scale, right? And then I want to go up to the 3rd, count up to the 5th, back to the 1, up to the 5th, 3rd, and then up to the 5th, and then to the 1. So then, leaving the ones in between out, I get this. It's pretty simple. Let's go to the next one. One, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1. Without talking. I want to point out right here that triads do come in handy in improvising too. It's not for nothing that we're learning this. Okay, up to the 5th string, first finger, all the way up here. And we're going to do this scale. And here we go. Remember, that one has to shift up a little bit so we get the full 2 octaves. The next two don't have the full 2 octaves, and the first of those starts with the second finger on the 5th string, the scale again, and the arpeggio. And the last one's with the pinky, again on the 5th string. And now the arpeggio. Now that was the major. Now again, remember when we alter to find the different versions of scales when we're doing the minor scales. To make it minor, what do? Lower the 3rd, of course, lower the 3rd. Makes it, instead of happy, sad. So here we go, minor now. So every time I get to the 3rd, I'm going to lower it, right? And with the 2nd finger, the major was like this. Now it's going to be minor. Got to stretch back to get that minor 3rd there. The pinky one, major one was like this. Now it's going to be, right? Now you notice when I have three notes in the same fret, I kind of roll my finger across like that. That occurs quite a bit in these arpeggios, so you can practice that on your own. Then we're going to move up here. Remember the major one was like this. This time it's with a minor 3rd. Second finger, instead of major, minor. And then with the pinky,